I'm Mark DeForest. I'm the CEO of S2 Games, and I'm here to talk about our next title, Strife.
Strife is a MOBA game, or a multiplayer online battle arena, much like well-known titles Dota 2 and League of Legends. But its creators have tried to make Strife unique.
Let's make a game from the ground up, clean sheet design, taking everything that we learned in our unique perspective, and let's make what will eventually become the best game in the genre.
To make the best game, dynamic gameplay itself isn't enough. The backstory is essential, which isn't really common in the genre.
It felt like lore was always kind of like tacked on. And in a certain way, it's completely understandable. In our own game, Heroes of New Earth, lore was completely a side thought. But we realized that it didn't have to be that way. And that by creating a rich lore and being committed to sticking within the bounds of what that lore is, we can add context to the player of like, well, why am I even doing this? Like, why are we fighting? What is the purpose? And for those people who are really interested in knowing the backstories of the characters that they want to portray themselves as and why we're competing, that we felt that we would create a closer attachment to the product. So we took the time to create this great lore.
The characters, or heroes, are an important part of a MOBA game. Strife developers wanted to make sure that they made a difference here too, with less heroes but with many more variations, something first-time players especially can be thankful for.
One of the ways that we differentiated ourselves using the less is more concept is, take for example, we talked a little bit about the hero pool and how we're going to be very committed to making sure that every hero is very well thought out. And not that in other games that they're not, but we want to spend even extra time. And that the way that each hero can be played is so varying and unique that while they have a limited skill set, that it offers great variation. But from a new user coming to it, the fact that they don't have to learn 100 plus heroes, that makes a huge difference, right?
This diversity doesn't only apply to characters but also to items, thanks to customization.
Crafting allows the items themselves to be made in almost infinite number of ways.
Strife audio-visual makers have done some interesting work in the graphics department.
We simplified everything from the shapes, we simplified the detail level, and we made sure the colors were recognizable and easy to see. For instance, I don't know if you can see this guy Ace behind me here, Ace, for instance, I don't know if you saw him in the game. Imagine him versus just a typical tank guy with a bunch of gray armor and spikes all over it, and you try to view that from a distance. It's just kind of a jumbled mess of gray details. And so we really took into account the camera angle, made sure that the different shapes and whatnot read from the angle that you're going to see the camera at.
Strife, like most MOBA games, will evolve and expand its capabilities, items, and characters over time.
But we also plan to release new items. And the beauty of releasing new items is the implications that has on one of our ancillary systems in crafting. We will release new pets, again another ancillary system within the game in the form of progression and playstyle customization, and then of course heroes. We will release new heroes, and while I said we are committed to keeping the hero pool low, our game plan is to not release with a ton of heroes, and then at some point in time, we're going to keep the pace of releasing heroes within some form of reason.
The goal, ultimately, is to make a game that evolves with the community.
We'll put the servers up, and we'll make sure that we're constantly developing the community and then analyzing the game based upon how our community is reacting to it and where there are trends in play and where there may be issues in balance.
This is Strife, a MOBA game that promises to leave their mark on the genre.